shitcoin.com.
Welcome back to the shitcoin.com show, everyone. We are back after a little hiatus, but we thought we'd start one off with a bit of a deep dive into what Andreas knows about all of these EVM chains, because obviously he's working with these every day at SideShift AI. So it's cool to kind of get your thoughts on what they are and just kind of the ins and outs of each one, I guess. But I guess starting broadly, what is an EVM chain?
Yes, so the way I usually explain it is, I say that an EVM is a copy of Ethereum. So it means that you can add it to MetaMask. So if something is an EVM, MetaMask can connect to it, and it means it can have similar smart contracts. So it will have its own Uniswap, its own Aave, its own Convex, its own everything. So it means all EVMs can run all smart contracts and DeFi programs that are written for Ethereum.
So everyone's always talking about decentralization in Ethereum and Bitcoin, but are any of these EVM supported chains actually decentralized?
Right, so when Ethereum came out, we being the Bitcoiners would complain a lot how it's not, wasn't decentralized enough. That was more or less proven with the DAO hack, where Vitalik pretty much just, more or less rolled back some changes to Ethereum. But after then, Ethereum has gotten very decentralized. At least it feels like that to me. So I don't think Vitalik or anyone can just turn it off tomorrow. But if you look at the new EVMs, I mean, there are so many. We can list a few. What you notice happens a lot is the development is completely centralized. So there is a company, they raised money from all these VC firms, and they make the EVM. So Binance Smart Chain is made by Binance. And clearly, no matter what they say, the software is being made by people paid by Binance, and they can just turn it off.
Yeah.
They can censor transactions. They can turn it off. They can change the rules. They can do anything. But that makes sense for Binance Smart Chain, which has the word Binance in it. But if you do the other ones, we'll have, for example, Polygon, which is an EVM that used to be called Matic. This one they just turned off when it has bugs.
Yeah.
It's just, we turned Polygon off, which if you come from Bitcoin or even Ethereum, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you turn off? It's like, oh, we turned off Bitcoin. There's a bug with Bitcoin is just not working today. that's never going to happen. But on these EVMs, that is just all the time. They just turn them off. And they have centralized bridges to move the assets to and from the chain. Many of them, which they also turn off just all the time. Yes, I wouldn't say they're terribly decentralized. Maybe Avalanche could be a little decentralized. I guess we'll have to see if there's a critical bug. That's when you see it, because that's when you find out, can they turn it off or does it just continue?
I guess looking at the EVM compatible chains, you've got the ones that you've worked on anyway with SideShift. You've got Avalanche, Phantom, Binance Smart Chain, Smart BCH, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of those, do you think they do pose a threat to Ethereum L2s and Ethereum?
I don't think so. Maybe I think the one with the best chance, if anyone has any chance at all, would be Avalanche, because Emin is a genius and he has a really good team. They've worked on this forever, so there are things about Avalanche that make it really fast and it scales. Yeah. And we've seen now they have unique features, like they have this sharding feature called subnets, where certain games, I believe it's a Krabada, runs on its own shard, so its own kind of part of the network. So when there's a lot of users playing Kravata, they do not bring down or slow down Avalanche. It's kind of isolated. And it's just, I think Avalanche works really well. Fast, really fast blocks, very, very stable. By design, it's supposed to, when it gets congested, it's supposed to react by the fees going up slightly and the performance staying the same.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, some voodoo magic, because in Ethereum, like, that is not the case.
That's interesting.
And on Binance Smart Chain, when there's load, it's just offline.
Yeah, it just turns off.
It turns off.
Then you've got the Ethereum Layer-2 solutions, right? So the ones that are already out and live in the market, you've got Optimism and Arbitrum, which I know you've worked on. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on those two as solutions?
Yeah, so from the Layer-2s, there is a really excellent interview that Vitalik did on some other podcast. We can try to find it.
Yep.
A link to it, where he talked about all these Layer-2s. It seems right now that there is Arbitrum and Optimism, which are called optimistic rollups, which means that they pack together transactions and they store them on Ethereum.
Right, okay.
And in the interview, Vitalik said you can get a performance increase from this. So you can get like, I think he said like 30% more scale or something. But that's sort of it. Like it ends somewhere. And I've been using Optimism a bit for myself. The fees are substantially cheaper, but it's a Layer-2. It's its own chain, so you will have to use Uniswap not on Ethereum, but on Optimism. The currency of both networks will be Ether.
Yeah.
Because Optimism doesn't have a shitcoin, but it's a separate network that just happens to use the security of Ethereum. And so that's Optimism and Arbitrum. It seems like Arbitrum has more users, but the people in the know, like I asked Amin and some others, they seem to prefer Optimism.
That's very interesting. Mm. And then I guess as well you've got Polygon, which has been around for a while, which people call a Layer-2. We were discussing this earlier, and you were saying it's kind of an interesting one because it's just explain that. So what are the differences with Polygon?
Yeah, I had to actually Google this one because, they're all going to market as a Ethereum Layer-2 because that is what everyone wants. We were promised it 5 years ago or something, and it's just simply not here. So I think what they're doing is they're calling themselves Ethereum Layer-2 because then you're like, we have a problem, and they say, we are the solution. But as far as I can tell, all the Polygon, Phantom, all of these, it's just like a Ethereum with no mining, and they claim to get some kind of security by storing the hashes of their blocks on the Ethereum chain. But it's a separate network with their own shitcoin, controlled by a single company, with all this like decentralization theater, right? Yeah. Where they're like, oh no, DAOs. we have a DAO with some keys, and they sign, and we can't tell them what to do, but they're all investors. Yeah. It's this kind of thing. I don't even know what those things do. I have no idea.
I know you've been looking a bit at zkSync. I know Vitalik's has been quoted in the past as saying that that might be the thing which really pulls this together. Obviously, they still have to deliver. It's in testnet right now. But if it does go live without any hiccups and they reach what they promised, do you think that can really help Ethereum going forward?
I was looking at zkSync very briefly. And it was currently in version 1, which is live. Like, you can go and use it right now. I think you should go and use it. So you should bridge some of Ethereum over to zkSync 1, because if there's ever an airdrop, if these people make a shitcoin, which they should do, I think we found on their Discord there's a channel called like when token or
Yeah,
something.
which to say there is no token.
We'll see about this one. So, anyways, I didn't spend that much time on it because it was not EVM compatible in the sense that you could not connect your MetaMask to it, which I think sucks because I just want everything to be the same but have some technical difference, right? But then I looked it up, and zkSync version 2 is in testing on a testnet, so not using real money, and it is EVM compatible. You'll be able to use MetaMask, and then I guess they'll have like a Uniswap.
Yeah.
And as Vitalik said in his interview, the potential performance gain from using ZK, which is zero knowledge proofs, is massive. It's sort of like unbounded, as we would say in programming. It's hard to know how much you could scale. It could be just massive improvement. So that's where I would, not put my money because it doesn't have a shitcoin, but that's where I would be, I've been looking.
Having a look,
and spending my time.
That's very interesting. That kind of wraps it up. Remember, guys, though, that if you want to bridge between any of these EVM compatible chains or a bunch of other stuff, check out sideshift.ai, where you can see Andreas' work in action as well. And just get farming some yield or whatever you want to do on different chains. But cool. We'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.